Twitter stuff. Get everything set up, and we should be good. All right. So, hello everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is May 24th, and this is the May 24th Express Devstream. So, we are getting back into our combat system refactor, and we are going to start by focusing on getting the combat loop to be completely finished, which means getting to the end of a successful combat attack, finishing our final attack, and then getting put back to the start idle area. We currently have, I believe, everything working up to that point. So we have support for failing, we have support for making hazardous choices, we have support for simultaneous offensive and defensive attacks. We have support for single and multiple types of offensive and defensive attacks. And we basically should just have to set up the actual looping part. There are still minor tweaks that need to be made for the actual whole system itself to make sure that every little bit works, but this should let us have the broad strokes of the system functional, or be functional. So let's go ahead and play, give you a sense of where we are, because it's been about 2 weeks. Has it really been that long? I guess it has been. That's what happens when I have a convention. Oof. It kind of just eats into my usual schedule. So, currently, we can go ahead and select battle. We go in. We have our path choice. I'm going to go ahead and we'll do left. And this is an attack. Dodge. Then we go into our final attack sequence. Which I'm not super crazy about currently. But then we get kind of stuck here because we don't actually have it going back to the loop. So what we're going to want to do is have it go back to the action select screen and also execute our damage. And that, of course, also means that we need to be able to prepare for what happens if the player doesn't type anything there, and then, yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear this, and we are going to, I think, want to pull up our attack section behavior and organize some of this stuff so that everything's all nice and neat. What would probably be good is that, because we're going to be doing a lot of coding today. And let's see. So currently we need to handle, actually, no, it's not going to be in our behavior, is it? It's going to be in our mixer. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and select the timeline here. Phase 3, final timeline. All right. That's the hiccups. Okay. Minimize this. So we have our offense section here, which is of type multiple. We don't need to worry about sound managers. And we do have... Oh. Hold on. Hold everything. Select this. We're going to go left. Right. Our action. Oh, right. The actions. So I need to essentially have a timeline for what happens if this... I guess I still need the timeline, don't I? So I still need to have my actions be visible. I turn them off for multi-attacks because for the most part you don't really need more than one path. Multiple attacks are not meant to be made in conjunction with other ones. So you can't really have like a selection. Which I guess means that I should just have a straight up success clip here. Let's go to our attack section behavior. We will go to up here, actions, and we'll have... Geez, this is... I'm trying to think about how we want to organize this. I suppose it would go probably up here. And we would probably say public playable director. Multi success Terrible, terrible naming. Multi-attack timeline. Yeah, that's so gross. I don't. Ah, success. It's such a long name. I hate having long names, just because it makes everything super awkward. All right, whatever. It's explicit. So let's go ahead and let that compile. I need to pull up my actual clip, which of course I'm going to fly by several times. Okay, here we are. So let's go ahead and we're going to say serialized field, protected, exposed reference. We're going to call this a playable director and multi-attack success timeline. I call it timeline or director? I did. Ugh, it's such a long name. All right, let's go ahead and tooltip that. And we're just going to say the timeline to play when when a when this multi-attack is successful, I guess. Seems correct. Basically, it's like a weird multi-version of the failure timeline. It's just that this will only really be triggered if we have the multiple attack type selected, because if it's a single attack type, then you have several choices that you can make, and those all have their own relevant information, so we don't really care about them. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to come down here, and in initialize behavior, we will say behavior dot multi-attack success timeline is equal to multi-attack success timeline dot resolve graph dot get resolver. Okay, and then we will go ahead and go over here to our attack section. No, that would be under our attack section behavior, right? Or would it not? Behavior pause. Is valid. True timeline. True hazard timeline. We don't. I guess it would just be this. Right. Okay. This is interesting. Why? Oh, I guess it's because the failure stuff is done here. So we don't really need this else, I don't think. I think we can get rid of that. And now we want to say case multiple. Oops, forgot my colon. Break out there, and we're going to say if. Jeez. I should have, yeah, an is complete, right? If is complete. Let me double check what this is. Attack type single, and if that's the case, attack complete is greater than 0. Otherwise, if attack's not complete is greater than the labels dot count. Ooh, that's probably not great, but sure, why not? Okay, then we will say if what do I want to call it? Multi-attack success timeline does not equal no. Then we'll say, wow, not even close. Multi-attack success timeline dot play. Okay. Why are you giving me a squiggle? That's deeply disconcerting. I hate it when it does that. Okay, and we should be good. I think that's just a weird bug. Yeah. I hate it when it does that. It always makes me freak out. Okay, so that should let us move back to our original position. But we do need to do a couple of things. So for now, I'm just going to make it a timeline that literally just moves the camera back to its idle position. Long term, this is where we would trigger the battle resolve animation for the enemy. Basically, have it show the player dealing damage. Although, oh dear, that is not great, is it? Oh, jeez, all kinds. Let me think. Jeez. I'm currently thinking through the logistics of how I'm going to handle doing battle animations for dealing damage later, and it's going to be a nightmare for me. I am not looking forward to it. It's really going to suck. Because I'm going to have a different timeline for every item, I believe. Because it wouldn't make sense for me to do animations for, like, the sword and have those same animations be used for the scepter. I feel like the scepter you would be hitting a lot more bluntly, so you'd be a lot more bashing motions versus the sword, which would be a lot more, slicing and cutting motions. So that's great. That's something I need to worry about. But for now, let's see here. Oh, don't tell me. Yep, there it is, right there. Custom editors. All right, so we're going to say protected serialized property M multi-attack success timeline. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that, put it there, come down here, and do that. Cool. And then we're going to do multiple, multi-attack area. Let's go ahead and copy this, paste it in. M multi-attack success timeline. Cool. So that should fix that little issue. And while that's compiling, I'm going to take a drink. Oh, and you know what? Because I'm paranoid about this now. And while that's compiling, I'm going to take a drink. Good. We are getting audio this time. And I have been dead tired all week. I think I just haven't been getting enough sleep. I'm still pretty sleep deprived from Anime Central, I think. Just went right back to work. I should have taken Monday off. That would have fixed things, I think. All right, there we are. So we're gonna have a final timeline, and then we will have the. Let's go ahead and come down here, and oh, you know what? I don't have this here, but I totally want it. So, actually, can I put this somewhere useful? Nope. Cool. I've written an editor tool for this at work, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it again here because it would probably be useful. Let's go to the editor. Utility. Let's see if I have something for this. I don't. Okay. Let's go ahead and come down here. Create. Actually, do I have context? Context. Nope. Okay. Cool. I'm going to create folder, menu items. This is just going to be a quick utility script. So we'll say C# script, SOS, menu items. And the main thing I want to do is I just want to have a right-click context, so I can right-click in the hierarchy and say create playable director instead of saying new game object, then assigning the script to it. And this is, it's all too much effort. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. We're going to say static. We'll say common editor. We will get this. Cool. And we're going to say, actually, I'm going to say using Unity editor. And then public static void create playable director. Menu item. I'm going to say game object create other, I believe is what I'm going to want, and then playable director. Okay, let's go ahead and come up here. We're going to say using engine.playables. And we're going to say Game object selected geo is equal to selection dot game object. That will give us the game object that's currently selected, because if you right click on a game object and then say create playable director, probably what you want to have happen is have a playable director created underneath that object. So we're going to go ahead and set that up. And then if there's nothing selected, it'll just create it in the root. So we'll say if selected geo is equal to null, then we're going to do something else. All right, next thing we want to do is probably just say game object director geo is equal to new game object. We'll call this playable director, one word. And then what we're going to do is simply move the director geo to be underneath the selected geo if it's not null. Otherwise, we don't really care about it. So let's go ahead and say, actually, you know what? I'm probably going to keep that else just so I can position it locally. So we're going to say director geo dot transform dot set parent, and then we'll say selected geo dot transform. Okay, then director geo dot transform dot local position is equal to vector3.0. I was going to have this. Should I? I don't know if I should have it rotate or not. I feel like I shouldn't. But at the same time, I probably should. So we'll have it scale and do all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and just grab this and duplicate it. Okay, so this is going to be, instead of local position, it's going to be local rotation is just going to be equal to quaternion identity. Then local scale is going to be equal to new vector3 1f 1f 1f. Okay, and then otherwise all we're going to do is just say director.geo.transform.position is equal to, I guess I could actually just say dot local position, not local scale. Position is equal to vector3.0, because everything else should be implied. And then I can simply say director geo.add component, and we're going to say playable director. Okay, and let's go ahead and cache a reference to that real quick. Playable director is equal to that. That way I can say director.playOnAwake is equal to false, because I almost never have those be true. And then we're going to get to the end and say selection.activeGameObject is equal to director geo. Pretty simple. Cool. So we'll let that compile, and then I should be able to just right-click over here and have it create playable directors now. So nice and simple, small deviation, but let's see. The real question is, does that? Yep, it does that. Because of course it does. Get rid of you. Back over here, collapse you. And while that's compiling, I'm going to take a drink. Hello, Zahav PZ1. I feel like there's an easier way to say your name, but I am terrible with names. Either way, welcome. Yes, so the project I'm working on is called TextQuest. It is a first-person text-based adventure. And I believe, let's see if I can remember my own. There's more information on the website, which has screenshots and all that. But the idea is that it's a first-person text-based adventure where everything in the world is made up of text. So walls say wall, grass says grass, troll says troll. And you actually interact with everything by typing into a parser. So if you want to eat an apple, you would actually type eat apple. To open doors, you would type open door. Slap rock with fish. Pretty much anything you can think of. And then currently what we're doing right now is reworking the combat system so that it's a lot more dynamic and enjoyable and can scale a lot better. So that's a whole other beast. But I can show you that, I guess. I can actually show viewers something on my stream. Who'd have thought? So let's go ahead and play real quick. So if you've ever played Typing of the Dead, that's where this combat system, that's what heavily inspires this combat system. So you can see that we have options up here. We can say, battle, item, or flee. You can, if you choose an item, you can like equip items or use health items in combat to restore your health. We're going to go ahead and choose battle. So we get presented with choices. These are paths that we can take. You can see that right is jumbling a little bit. That means it's dangerous. We're going to go left because that's safe. And then we have an attack here. An attack. We're going to dodge that attack. And then this is our final attack, which is a bunch of different attacks. With terrible flat sounding attacks because of how I was scaling pitch. And that's currently where we're at. We are getting ready to set up the loop so that when you complete that final attack, takes you back to the beginning, and you can select your actions again. I had a slight diversion there so that I could be lazy and just do... Oh no, dang it. I messed up, hold on. Game object. Oh, it's because I put it here. Oops. Yeah, okay. I think I need to do this. That. So we'll let that compile. So I should just be able to right-click and create a new playable director without having to constantly do the process of, new game object, rename it, and then blah, 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 all that stuff. Well, thank you very much. Actually, I'm just kind of curious. How'd you find the stream? Were you just randomly going through Twitch? That seems to be what usually people do, but I always like to ask. Just because I try to understand how people come across the channel. Okay, so I should be able to right-click. Really? Huh. It's just nowhere to be found, huh? Maybe... Yeah, now it's straight up, like... Interesting. I wonder if... Am I just reading this wrong? No? Well... That's kind of sad. Maybe I should... I guess I could do 3D object, but that would be stupid. Weird. So I can't add something to this menu. I thought I could for create other, but maybe that was something else. So I guess we'll go ahead and change this to game object. Can I do SOS maybe? Name, duplicate, blah blah blah, create empty. Yeah, we'll just do it under effects. Or how about video actually? Video. So now I should be able to do that. Yes, I tried to find a cool stream and found yours. Haha! Well, thank you very much. Hopefully I can actually live up to the cool stream part. It is going to be a pretty code-centric day today, just so you're aware. Hence why I have coding on display there. So hopefully you find C# programming somewhat interesting. If not, hopefully the visuals will be at least entertaining enough. Alright, so that'll work. Not quite what I would prefer, but whatever. And you can see that it, selects the playable director, and if I right-click on that, create another one, it'll move that, zero everything out, uncheck play on awake. Cool. So that all works. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. And the reason I did that is so I could be lazy and just do this. Playable director. Okay. So we'll go to our final timeline here, and I'm going to create a new timeline. Create timeline. I will call this control dash final transition restart. Ugh, what a terrible name. Let's see. How about just reset transition? Reset transition. Okay. Let's go back up to here. Put this in that field. We'll rename this to action selection reset. As you can tell, I'm terrible with coming up with names. We're going to select this, drag that into our multi-attack success timeline. Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's such a long name that it's getting cut off, which is never okay. Let's go ahead and save that. And all this final one is going to be is we're going to add a track group for cameras, which I guess should actually, no, it's fine. We're going to add our, where are you, Cinemachine, 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 there you are. Our Cinemachine track, let's drag our main camera into there. Add Cinemachine shot clip, and all that's going to do is transition back to our idle camera. And we need to transition to that from, I think it's our phase 3 camera. So let's go ahead and add another Cinemachine shot clip. Duration is going to be 1. And our phase 3 camera. Drag that over to here. I think we should be good. I like coding more than design. Well, that's good. Are you a programmer or a developer, I suppose? Or are you just kind of a hobbyist interested in games? Or what have you? Alright, so we have idle camera, phase 3 camera. We should be good there. Let's go ahead and we're going to transition by having that work there. Let's set our duration to 3 for now. It's going to be pretty short because it's not going to have any actual animation for the troll character. It's just going to be a literal reset. And I suppose we are going to want to have, of course, a playable track. Let's add a clip, which is going to be our set Cinemachine camera clip. Let's go ahead and drag this, slow it down, and it is going to be our idle camera. All right, so we will save there, and I think that's how we want to set that up. And then at the very end of this, of course, we are going to want to have another playable track. We're going to say add clip and select combat action clip. We'll go ahead and restart that. Come on. Make that 60 frames. I don't really need to make it that, but I am. Dragging our combat system. Cool. So now we should have a completed loop. As long as I succeed, we should get this this timeline to be played, which will reset our action commands, and then we'll be able to start the whole combat sequence again. So we'll say set camera. This will be show menu. Let's go ahead and do a track group. Call this UI. Okay. Hit save, turn off preview, and let's just give this a run through. There are a couple of other things that I would like to do once we have the combat loop working. I want to make it so that when you choose hazardous paths, you get a +1 on your final damage. Of course, that means we need to get damage set up, which is what we're going to do next. So that if you want, on later fights, which will have very, very difficult hazard paths, you'll be able to choose like maybe 2 or 3 per sequence, and that will just massively increase the damage you can deal. With, of course, the risk being that if you're not very fast at typing or you can't react very well, then it will be hard to actually defend yourself. So, yes, but more like a hobby. That's fine. What do you mostly work with? Do you use like Unity or Unreal? Let's go right this time. If I can spell. Oh, come on. Okay. Jeez. I can't type my... Ah! Okay, I think I failed that. But that's actually not how that should go. Oh man, or is it? No, I probably should have you get at least 1 combo. Okay. Then let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and retry that. Use Unity. I was going to say, well, then that's perfect because I also use Unity. So I can actually give you any tips that you need. Or I can just show you cool stuff as I work. I say cool, but it's mostly editor scripting and a lot of timeline stuff now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go right. Okay. Interesting. So it straight up failed. Either it failed or it didn't think I succeeded. One of the two. So let's peek that. I don't really think that this is a good metric. Labels.count. So I probably would actually want to change that to be. Let's see. Attack messages. It would be multi-attack combo threshold. Excuse me. So instead of labels.count, we want to say multi-attack combo threshold. There we go. I think that would be more appropriate. Or actually, you know what? I guess I could say multi-attack combo is greater than or equal to is greater than 0. Multi-attack combo is greater than 0. So that's all we really care about there. And that should be set to true if we complete enough attacks to pass our threshold, essentially. So let's go ahead and check that out. And do we need anything else? That should be fine, I think. Okay. So let's go ahead and say debug.log fail, and then can't spell, log success. Okay, let that compile real quick. Maybe it'll be good to change the color from red to green, because red looks like you do something wrong. Yeah, so the actual color that you see displayed there is not hard set as red. At the beginning of the game, I have you pick out a favorite color, and your favorite color is what those letters flash. So by default, that's red. And since I'm just jumping in here, it's assuming the default value of red. But your favorite color could be green or blue or purple or orange or any of that stuff. And then those letters would flash that color. I can actually show you that real quick. Let's go ahead and go to my session. Although this is probably going to be a lot. So let's go to session.cs. Come up to here. So you can see that we have .red. If I change this to like .green, then when I play, all of my highlighting will be with green instead of blue, or I'm sorry, instead of red. It is a bit of a problem though, because when I mistype a letter, you'll notice that it flashes red on the other letters. And if your favorite color is red, then that's super weird. So I need to actually change it so that if your favorite color is red, then your letters should flash a different color, probably like white or something. Let's go ahead and play here. Maybe yellow. Yeah, I'll have to look into color blindness to see what would go well there. It'll also affect your favorite color. Also affects things like your player character's color and the health bar color. So you notice that now my vitality is green instead of red. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into combat. We'll say left. Okay. All right, so I succeeded. Cool. And then there we go. There's our menu. So cool. Now we have our loop set up, I think. Let's go ahead and try to battle again. Make sure that we actually can do that. Cool, we can. And this is problematic. The labels don't seem to be cleaning up properly. I don't know why, but they just don't seem to be. So now if I go left, like it's still the old this is an attack and all that, but it just seems to think that it should be shaking. And you might have noticed that when we go to the final stage where I have to just type in a bunch of stuff really quickly, some of the labels still have a red background even if their letters aren't shaking. I don't really know why this is happening, because after each round it should properly reset all of the labels, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. I'm not entirely sure why. So let's go ahead and go to the battle again. I'll jump to the end to show you what I mean. So we're going to go right. So you can see like hit there is red, as is the hit there. So that's not really great. Ideally, that stuff would be resetting properly. I'm not entirely sure why it is not, but it is not, and therefore it is a problem. It is a problem. Let's go ahead and stop playing. We can now clear out. I'm also going to reset this back to red so that I remember to keep that in perspective. I'm going to go back to this, get rid of these debugs because I don't need them. Hit save. So we now have the combat loop functioning. We can get through combat, get to the end, succeed, and then get sent back to the start, get ready to go again. We can also get partway in, fail, and then get booted back. That works as well. Not all of the cutscenes are set up for that right now, but the functionality is there. So the next thing we want to do is handle damage. And the way I'm thinking about handling that is it's something that's based on several factors. So before I start that, I'm going to take a drink. So when you go through combat normally, there are safe options and hazardous options for paths. So when I go in here and I start the fight, I get shown two choices. I can go left or right. Right initially is, wavy and red and shaky and all those dangerous symbols, which means that it's a hazardous choice. So you can go here. I'm going to go ahead and pause. So if I go left, that's a safe choice. If I go right, that's a hazardous choice. Going left will be easier, meaning that it will probably have a longer time frame. It will be a little bit easier for us to type, maybe. Won't have as much going on. Going to the right, however, is a bit of a risky choice, because if you do that, it'll be faster. You won't have to wait as long, and it will also be harder because the enemy, as you've seen, will be swinging things around, and the labels might move a lot more. You might have to be a lot more observant. You might have to just be faster at typing. But the trade-off for that is that every hazard path that you take should increase the damage you do at the end by 1. So let's say I take the left path here. So I go left. This is an attack. Dodge. Okay. Stop. Oh, geez, that was not okay. So I failed that. But also, that's an interesting bug. If I complete an attack like right as it fades away, then it doesn't get reset, which means that it's still my active attack, so I can't type anything else. That's problematic. So we're going to have to fix that. But the idea there is that if I go left, it should be a little bit easier for me to get through. The ending combat area might be the same regardless, but since I chose a safe path, I won't have that +1 damage modifier, which means that I'm just going to do 1 damage per combo that I build. But if I go to the risky route, then I'll do 1 damage per combo +1 for the risky route. And if I have multiple risks that I can take per route, then I could potentially have an arbitrary number of +1s to my attacks. On top of course, typing in a perfect, which would be getting every label. So it's possible that if you take risky routes all the time, you will do maximum damage. But the risk there is that you might also just not be able to type fast enough, and therefore you would do 0 damage and you would get hurt. So I think that makes combat a lot more interesting, because it means that taking those risky choices or those risky paths is not just a test your skill sort of thing. I mean, it is that, but in addition, it has some strategic value. You can actually say, do I want to do more damage or do I want to be safe? Okay, so let's go ahead. We need to go to our attack section behavior, I think. right? And we want to go to, let's see, on attack begin, complete. Do I want it on complete or down here? I feel like it should probably be here, and we're going to want to see where our current attack is set. So let's see, where are you, current attack? Let's find all references, and we're going to say equal to null. So this is on pause. We don't care about that. We only want it within respect to, we don't really care about you. Where are you? On attack backspaced, and then this is on attack complete. Right. But what happens if we don't? Right. I think it's on attack skipped is what I want. So for this, I need to say if current attack is equal to label, then we'll go ahead and just do the same thing. We'll say current attack is equal to null. Yes, that's all we care about. Okay. Current attack is equal to null. So that should fix that little problem. Let's go ahead and give that a shot real quick, because that was an oversight. Yeah, I had a few interesting ideas about the new combat system while I was watching people play at Anime Central this past weekend. I think the critical idea was the super amazing idea that I had. Like I was watching someone play and I just had that, it popped in my head and I was like, oh, epiphany. It's brilliant. But there are a couple of other ideas that I was tossing around. One would be that you could actually affect the environment outside of combat by doing stuff inside of combat, like maybe intentionally letting the enemy hit you to cause to open up a new path or reveal an item or something. It seems like that could be an interesting thing to do, because it would mean that even if you don't want to kill something, you would still have to go into combat to fight it and then run away. But that would be a more interesting way of having combat actually affect the world, because the outside world, outside of combat, can affect combat itself. And it would be nice if the reverse was true, if combat, doing stuff inside of combat, would actually cause some change in the overarching world. Now there was always kind of an element of that. Crap. What am I? Oh right, we're testing the multiple stuff. God, this attack would be impossible if I didn't. Okay, we're gonna let that one fade. I can't. I can't. Dang it. Okay, let's go ahead and double check that. Is it not getting called, maybe? Let's go to definition. When is on attack skipped being called? Find all references. On attack skipped this. Finite duration, fade cooldown. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our behavior here. And I want to, down here, we're going to say debug.log skipped, and then we will say plus label.attack message, so we'll be able to know what label it is. And then let's go ahead and debug this, I guess. So we'll say debug.log reset attack. Mixing my capitalization method. Okay, I just want to make sure that current attack is being set to null, because if it's not, then I can't really do much here. Because part of the problem is that if you start typing an attack in the multiple attack phase, and it finishes before you can actually finish the word, then basically what's happening right now is you're getting locked in a state where that specific label is your current attack, and attempts to type anything else just will not work. That's obviously not okay. I think it's a cool idea to do. Oh yeah, for the combat affecting the world. Yeah. It's mostly because I would like to make combat as useful and interesting as possible, even if you don't want to actually engage in the combat that much. It would just be nice to have some interactions be only capable of being done through combat, but not necessarily through defeating the enemy in combat, just through combat itself. Because, of course, I want to make sure that you can get around all of these enemies without having to fight them. But if you want to maybe collect all of the treasures or find all of the secret areas, then maybe you have to, at the very least, fight them all. So let's go ahead and play. Well, thank you. I try. The real question isn't if the ideas themselves are good; it's if I can pull them off. Because that's a lot harder. Okay, I'm gonna get that one. Leave it alone. Can't type. Yep, can't type kick. Okay. Which is weird. Because we skipped crush. And we reset attack. But current attack didn't get reset back to nothing? Interesting. Current attack is equal to null. Interesting. Normalize time, label, request size, multi-attack area, direct size. Interesting. So it's weird because it seems like it did get called, but then something must have set it straight back. If current attack is equal to null. Current attack, if not, is attacking. Ah, there it is. I need to do the not is attacking thing. Yeah, that's the problem. That got me. Okay. That always gets me. I don't know why I do that. Hold on. Attack complete. Yeah, okay. So we're going to say is attacking is equal to false. Am I actually even using you for anything useful? Why do I have this? If not is attacking specifically so that I don't. Why? Are you static? Yes, okay, that's why. It's, oh, right, that's why. I'm going to comment that so that I don't forget what it does, because I always do that. So we'll go ahead and say static variable, so simultaneous attacks do not overlap. Okay. Oh, and have two attacks typed at once. Okay. I need that comment there because if I don't, I'll forget about it. Also, I let this compile while it was coding, or while it was still playing. That's never a good thing in Unity. Yes, I'm sure you can. You've done great work. You've done great work so far with the concept. I'm absolutely by this game. Well, thank you. That I always like it when I hear that people are excited about the game, because I mean obviously that's just a nice confidence booster. But it's been a long time coming. I really need to I think knuckle down and do a better job of progressing. I feel like I've been kind of dragging along for the past couple of months. Um, I need to get the second third of the game done. And I think once this combat system refactor is done, I'll be able to finish up the overworld, and then I'll be 2/3 done with the game, and I will be in a good space to decide how I want to progress. So let's go ahead and go in here. Right. And I failed. Okay. And that's why the risky choices are risky. But yeah, it's fun working on this. It's just difficult to have a full-time job that eats away most of my time, and then when I come home, I'm kind of tired. It makes it hard to really make progress on this. Okay, right. Okay, we're gonna let Crush go. Oh no! It's still doing it! But why? His attacking should be set to false. What's happening here? If current attack is equal to null, then if not is attacking. Okay, so we should be good, but for some reason it's just not. Oh, you know what? I probably should actually cache this now that I think about it. So I probably should do this. String input string is equal to input on input string. I'm just going to get rid of this because otherwise I am retrieving that multiple times, which is probably regenerating that string multiple times. So now even though it kind of sucks because well, you know what, actually, well, let's do this. Get rid of you. Move this into here, and then we'll say input dot there. So now I should only do a comparison for it once. Yeah, that should be a little bit more efficient. Okay, let's let that compile. And while that's compiling, I'm going to try to figure out why our attacks are not getting canceled out like I would expect. So let's see. Current attack is equal to null, is attacking is equal to false. And I have both of those things happening here when reset attack is called. But it doesn't seem like it's actually doing anything, which is weird. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go ahead and grab this. Do that. And now we should have a better idea. We won't get extra logs out. We'll only get the log out if it actually does reset it. And then I'll have to figure out why it's still not letting me attack after that. But okay, so we're going to come down here. Well, thank you for the follow. Also, I will get this. So is it Zahav? Like, I'm trying Zahav PS1. I feel like I should be able to pronounce that, but I just can't think of how to do it properly. I am quite bad with names. Okay, so we'll go ahead and let that go. This could also just be a weird situation where timeline is just being goofy. And I say that as the nicest possible way that I can, because timeline has done this sort of thing more, like this sort of weird thing where the code seems correct, but it doesn't actually do anything until the second playthrough for some reason. I don't know why. I really hope that that's the case and it was just a weird fluke. Let's find out. Okay, so crush. Yes! That's exactly what I was talking about. It's so weird. I don't understand why it does that. But occasionally, for some reason, timeline seems to require like the script to have been compiled, and then you have to have played, and then you have to stop playing and then play again. At which point it will be accurate. I don't know why. I never understood that, but it seems to be a weird quirk of timeline. So if you're ever working with timeline and something doesn't work the first time you try it one more time, because sometimes timeline apparently just takes 2 times to do something. Um, yes, it's just a nickname. My name is. I'm gonna assume that's Shaked, because otherwise the Americanization of that is shaked, and I don't think that's right. Unless it is shaked, shaken. I don't know. I am also quite terrible with actual names. Um, so it is Shaked, not shaked, correct? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and so we know that that works now. Um, so we fixed that bug, and we have. I'll go ahead and just have this fail timeline also be the action select timeline because it's all the same for now. So we'll select this. Let's drag that into there. Should be good. True, it's from Hebrew. I was guessing it was something Middle Eastern, just because usually ed suffix is not common in the Americas or in Asia. So I assumed it was some sort of Middle Eastern thing. So all right, I'm cultured enough just to know that I'm uncultured. uh, okay, so I think we have our core combat loop working now. The next thing is going to be taking damage. So we need to keep track of damage as it goes, which is going to be interesting. Oh boy, how do we want to do that? I think what we're going to want to do for that is we will have the combat system, which, oh, right, let's go to the base combat system, not the troll combat system, which I might not even, well, no, does the troll combat system really not have anything extra? Whatever. So what we want to do here is so our combat system is going to keep track of the player and enemy health. And what we'll do is we'll have a function that will deal a certain amount of damage, and we can make it just pass in an int argument for that. And what we'll do is when we do our final attack complete cutscene, we will just have it call a specific function in the combat system to deal all damage that's been stored. And if you have greater than 0, then it will take away damage and it will reinitialize our health. So we're going to go up to here, and I'm going to let's go down to here. We'll say protected int stored damage. I think set that equal to 0. Damage stored by the. Oh boy. Let's just go ahead and say damage total if the player succeeds in their attack. Okay, so after that, we are going to want to we have public virtual start combat and attack. Okay, so I think right about here, we'll go ahead and say public void increment attack. Attack damage, I guess that'll be fine. Int amount is going to be just equal to 1. And then we'll just say stored damage plus equals amount. Okay. And then after that, we are going to want to have an actual function that's just called public. Should I make this virtual? I probably should make this one virtual. So we'll say public void, I'm sorry, virtual void. Deal damage. Oof, not great. So for that, we will go ahead and at the end of this, we're going to say stored damage is equal to 0 again. But before that, we are going to want to deal the actual damage. So we'll say cached view. I just call it combat view. Or svuma, because I can't spell. Combat view dot. What function did I have for this? Because I totally had a function for this. Let's see. Damage, damage, damage. I'm guessing it was just called damage. And show hint. I didn't put. Show input. Check input. Initialize health labels. Ah, there it is. Right. Okay, so it's change enemy health. Change enemy health, and that will be based on stored damage. Okay. That should be all we need to do. We will also go ahead and say public virtual void. Let's go ahead and call this deal player damage. Jeez. I am having a really hard time typing tonight. Do not know why. I will say deal enemy damage, and then deal player damage. All we're going to do for that. So the player should never be dealt more than 1 damage at a time. Jeez, but do I want to allow it to have multiple type? We'll do that. Okay, so we're going to say... Also, I almost forgot this, but I want to say enemy HP minus equals stored damage. Okay. And then at the end there, we'll say if enemy HP is less than or equal to 0, then we're going to do something. Otherwise, we don't really care. Let's go ahead and say player HP minus equals amount. Then combat view dot change player health amount. Okay, and then we'll say if player H. Wow, the worst. There, it's less than or equal to 0. Okay. So let's go ahead and let that compile. So what we need to do is we need to basically have our attacks call increment attack damage whenever you build a combo or whenever you take a critical path. Which, now that I think about it, is going to be... Oh dear. It should be fine. Right now, I don't think that attacks have any way of knowing if they are on a hazard path. So I clearly label them, but I don't actually do anything, which probably means that I need to actually... jeez. That sucks so hard. Okay. So all of my attacks need a reference to the combat section. Oh, that sucks. Really, really, really sucks. Okay. I might have to. At least it's not 3:07 in my time zone. That's very true. It is only 8 o'clock here. So it's barely into the evening. I might have to revisit my attempts to get the bindings information. God, that sucks so hard, though. So I might have to set it up so that my attack section mixer can actually handle hazard. Jeez, no. That's not okay. Hold on. Dang it. Let's go let it compile. I'm going to go back to the defense section. I'm going to go to my attack section track. So currently I don't have a track binding. It's just a generic track, and everything's contained on the clips. But given the sheer amount of information and the fact that now everything potentially needs to know about our combat system, I kind of want to just have it be a track binding, but I need to be able to handle that. And it's awkward because I can't. So hold on. Let me Google this real quick. Let's see. Unity timeline get track binding. Go ahead and take a look at this. Oh, you coy little thing. Of course you're not going to have any examples. Let's see. Bindings of 2 tracks. That's a generic binding. That's not what I want. I'm pretty sure that this is just about... Oh, that's interesting. Also, I love that this is in the Playmaker forum. Oh, it's probably because this is in Playmaker, right? Okay. Let's see. Playables have the same track binding type. My type, for example. Okay. Playable director. This director. Apologies for the mumbling as I look through all of this, because we've kind of tried to do this before, but it didn't really go anywhere. So do I just need to do this? Where the heck is binding coming from? Oh, it's this. But where is that getting set? Let's see. If you're using a mixer playable for the track, process frame runs every frame. Grab the first frame that's called. It's called and pass it to its inputs if you need on-click playables. On down from the track, something like that. Ah, here we are. Okay. Okay. I think I know what to do here now. Okay. Yes. All right. That's better. It's awkward, but it's better, I think. So I essentially need to do this. We're going to go to our... Where are you? Here. So they're close to each other. So I no longer need this to be an exposed reference? Question mark? I believe I can make this a regular reference because it will be set by the track, which will be over here. And so what we're going to want to do is, you can see that we're doing all this get behaviors. Oh wait, what's this? Hello? Oh, right, because it's not that, I want to say... Okay, hold on, timeout. Timeout. Director. Get generic binding. Oh, are you serious? Wow. Director dot get generic binding. Wow. Whoa, boy. Okay, so this is what I gotta do. Oy. Can't have nice things, can I? All right. So let's go ahead and we're gonna have our mixer. Go to our text section mixer. On graph start. On graph stop. Tech fail. Tech complete. Okay, so we can have this be handled by the mixer? Question mark. I guess let me see where combat system here is being referenced. Right, I'm using it to get the information there. Okay, so we are going to do a couple of things. Because of course we are. Let's see, behavior, blah, 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 blah. Right, okay, so I'm going to want to, I believe, do this. We're going to have a director, and then I'm also going to have a public combat system. We'll just call this combat system. Okay. And then in our for loop here, we're going to say if behavior does not equal null, then we're going to set behavior dot combat system is equal to combat system. Wow, that did not do anything. Combat system. Okay, why are you being stupid? Why you gotta be like that? I don't know why it wouldn't autocomplete. Okay, so that should be called an on-graph start. It should do everything the way I would expect. At least I would hope. Do I need anything from combat system in attack start? I might. I do, but I don't actually think I need that. Hold on. We're going to go back to our mixer here. I don't think I want this here. Instead, what I should do is... Oh, do I really not need it there? I can just do it down here then? Oh, where are you? Here we are. So I'm going to go ahead and say combat system is equal to this. Of course, we have to cast it, so we're going to say combat system. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Mixer dot blah 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 blah. Right. How are they handling this? We're doing it in create track mixer, which is where I'm doing it. Create playable. Okay, yeah, cool. So I can just do this here then. And I can... Jeez, this is awkward. So I think I can say mixer dot... What the heck? Again? Why not? Oh, right, because I need to do mixer dot get behavior dot combat system is equal to combat system with a lowercase c. Should be good, should be good. Let's go back to here. And maybe I should actually do it a little bit more of the hard way. Yeah, do that. Okay. Jeez, this is really convoluted. Let's go ahead and go back to our clip. We are now going to get rid of this. Oh, jeez. Is that really how I want to handle this? Okay. So this doesn't need to exist anymore. So we're actually going to move this to be protected but not serialized. And then it's not going to be an exposed reference. It's just going to be a regular combat system. We're going to come down to here, get rid of this. Okay. And then we will hit save. I got to go to the editor. We have to get rid of that. Just do that. All right. Let's go back to our track. So our track is going to assign our mixer. But our mixer doesn't actually need to know about that. So let's get rid of that. It does need to, we still need this here, but we don't need it in the mixer. So actually, we'll get rid of this, and we will get rid of this. Come back here. Then we are going to go to attack section clip. I'm going to add public combat system get return combat system with a lowercase c, because I'm not a savage, and then set combat system is equal to value. Work with me. Value, not say, set. Okay. And now we should be able to do this. For int I equals 0, I is less than mclips.count, I plus plus, do. And then we're going to say attack section clip is equal to mclips of I as attack section clip. Okay. Oh, right, dot asset. Okay. And then we're going to say clip dot combat system is equal to combat system. Okay. Okay. I think that will do everything that we want. And now I no longer need to worry about having the actual clips reference the combat system because now I can just do this. Track binding type. Track binding type. Type of combat system. Okay. So let's go ahead and let that. Actually, you know what? Because I want this to be in order of increasing length. Let's try that and see what happens. So now I won't have these labels anymore, but that's perfectly acceptable because I never had more than one. I can't have more than one attack section track because the tracks are they would stomp on each other basically, and I would have no way of actually knowing when the track is complete. So now I should just be able to drag in my combat system to oh dear. Okay, good. Whew. I thought that it just wasn't going to take the reference for a second there. I was like, oh no, that's not good. So now all of my stuff needs to have that in there, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and collapse these anyway. So that's the left. Let's go to the right. Drag in our combat manager. Go to the hazard. Oh right, we already have that one. Save all those. Let's go to phase 1, our initial timeline, our attacks. Drag in our combat system. And then we should just have our last ones, which is all of these. Oh, right, no, never mind. The only ones I actually care about. Let's go ahead and make these a child. Call this transitions. With a capital T. Okay. Grab all of these, put that in there. Go ahead and put you in there as well. Okay, come down to here. And then drag in our combat system. Cool. So I think we should have everything set up properly. I don't know. I've not done this before. If it does work, I will be very happy. So let's go ahead and try this. So what we should be doing now is we should now have a single reference to the combat manager through the track instead of having to have each individual clip have a reference to the combat manager. So as long as we can get through our combat loop and have everything work the way we expect, we should be good. Let's go ahead and go into combat again. We'll go left this time. Excuse me, I did not quite make it to my mic to mute that. Okay, so we almost. What happened here? My camera got reset. Thanks for that sneeze. Now I don't know what happened. Happened at like the worst time, so now I gotta play that again. I'm assuming it's because my final scene transition didn't do what I was expecting it to. So let's go ahead and try that again. Alright, so let's go ahead and say battle. We'll go right this time. Okay. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Of course. Freaking ridiculous. Let's see, transition. Cameras, idle camera. Yeah. Why? Oh, it's probably because of this. There we are. I bet that's part of the problem. Okay, idle camera should be good. Set camera, idle camera, cool. Let's go ahead and try that again. And you know what? Actually, while we're here, let's just go ahead and get our script set up so that we can call do damage. That's just basically going to be a quick timeline script. Let's see, stances, timeline. We don't need our attack stuff. Menu, select action, show hint. Just go ahead and have a folder. We'll call this deal damage. Okay, we'll create a playable asset. We'll call this deal damage clip. Come on. Create playables, playable behavior. Deal damage behavior. And any day now. Well, I guess while that's compiling, why are you up so late, Shaked? If it's 3 in the morning over there. I mean, obviously, I know that my voice is just so enticing, but if you don't mind me asking why you're up late, I guess. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear this stuff. Open it up. Really need to redo some of this stuff. Open up the clip. Okay. Make sure that this is in the text quest namespace .combat. Come back over here. Text quest .combat. Okay. And for this, we'll go ahead and give it a reference. So we'll say public combat system. Jeez, I really don't know. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and say public. Oh, not there. Actually, hold on, not there. I guess that's all we really care about for now. We don't want on graph start or stop. We just care about on play, because we're just going to be making calls to the combat system. So if application.isPlaying. Okay, I'm going to let that compile real quick. What is going on here? Because I also need to add a enum that will just let us know if it's the player or the enemy that's getting dealt damage. Don't know. Well, I guess it's 3 a.m., so you wouldn't have to know. I feel like most people who are up pretty late don't really know why they're up late. Let's go ahead and hit C#. I know that I don't. And I'm going to say damage target. I'm not a fan of having this enum exclusive for these two classes that are basically the same class. Yeah, you know what? I'm probably going to delete that and just make it an enum under deal damage clip. Because these are the only two classes that are really going to use this enum. I don't see a reason to make a whole new enum. So let's see. Get rid of you. Open this back up. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and declare it here. So we're just going to say public enum damage. Come on. Target. Make this a byte or a mute. A byte. It's going to be enemy is equal to 0, and then player is equal to 1. Okay, we'll serialize the field. Private damage target. Target is equal to damage target dot enemy. Okay, let's go ahead and serialize field. Private combat system. Okay. So we're going to say script playable. Deal damage behavior. playable is equal to script playable deal damage behavior dot create graph. Okay, then deal damage behavior is equal to playable dot get behavior. Get rid of you. Come down to here. Just say playable behavior dot combat system is equal to combat system. Nope. Combat system. There we go. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go steal you. Paste you over here. I know you're not going to like it. Hold on. Deal damage clip. Yep. I don't like doing enums like this. I hate doing the like class name then dot enum. I hate that. But since it's such a very specific case for this, I don't really have much of a choice there if I want to keep my code clean. So I'm going to say behavior dot target is equal to target. Okay, let's come down here. And then in on behavior play, all I need to do is say if target is equal to player, then we're going to do something else. So we're going to say combat system dot deal player damage, and we're just going to do that. Else we'll say combat system dot deal enemy damage. Okay, should be good. And that's all I really need for that. So we'll go ahead and let that go. All right. Trying to think of anything really going on right now in terms of game news. It's all kind of quiet on the home front while we wait for E3 to happen, I think. Trying to think of anything really juicy that I've heard from rumors about that. Nothing really. It's been a quiet year, I feel, for E3. Not really a lot of exciting things going on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a multi-attack area. Oh, wrong thing. Here we go. I will actually go ahead and do success. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. This is going to be our failure. There are so many timelines involved in the combat system now. Okay. How about we do this? Troll and combat loop success. Let's duplicate this. Instead of success, it's going to be failure. Okay, we're going to come down to here, pull in our failure. Okay, then in our success, let's go ahead and say playable track, add clip, deal damage clip, damage, okay. And this is going to have our combat system, of course, which I forgot. I always do that. I made it just a regular combat system. It needs to be an exposed reference. Combat system dot resolve graph dot get resolver. Hit save, and we should be good. Have you heard of House Flipper? It's a really good game that was released a couple of days ago. I have not heard about that. Let's see. Is that literally a game where you flip houses? Oh, Steam is down. Really? Huh. Interesting. Hold on. Wow. Steam's down. Or it just did that for some reason. Okay, fine. Let's see. House Flipper. So what, like this? Interesting. Is this is this a first-person game or is it VR too? Because it seems like it would be a good VR thing. Huh. That's pretty funny. Let's see. Ah, lost my place. Sorry. Let's go back here. And we have to fix these because I hate inconsistent line endings. They drive me nuts. Okay. So we'll let that compile. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that game. Hello, Cache Override. Welcome back. How are you doing tonight? You're here just in time to see us deal massive amounts of damage. Actually, no, you're not, because I don't currently have the damage accruing yet. So, okay. Well, let me think about how I want to handle that then. Right, we need to go back to a couple of things. So, attack section behavior. You know, actually. Well, okay, yes. So I'm going to add. Jeez, should I do that? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna change up our attack section clip a little bit, and at the very top. Hold on, I gotta move some stuff around now. We're gonna move this out from there. We're gonna move it down to here. About there. So at the very top here, we're gonna add a field for the amount of damage that this attack section should do, I guess. So let's go ahead and serialize that. We will say protected int damage amount is equal to 1. Actually, no, let's make it 0 by default. We'll tooltip that. Tooltip. How much damage should be stored if this attack is completed to be dealt at the end if this attack is completed. There we go. Okay. And all we're going to do now is in our behavior, come up to here, excuse me, and we are going to, I guess, move this down to here, or put it up here. It's in a weird spot now. Public int, crap, what did I call it? Damage amount. There we are. Damage amount is equal to 0. Okay. Save this, go down to attack section clip, blah, 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 blah. Go ahead and move this. Behavior dot damage amount is equal to damage amount. Doing good? Well, that's good. I am still kind of in recovery mode, I feel, from ASUN. Like, I've been pretty tired all week. I think it's just because I haven't been getting enough sleep. I really should I just need to take a day to relax, which is nice because I think next Monday is Memorial Day. And it sounds like most of the people at the company I work at don't want to go into work that day, so probably will take that day off as well. And then I think I'll be back to normal. Just in time for me to get tired from Indie PopCon again. Okay. So now we have all of our attack modifiers set up. We need to, on behavior pause, if our attack's completed is true, we're going to go ahead and say if damage amount is greater than 0, then we will simply say combat system dot, what did I call it? Store? No. Yarg. I've forgotten all of my own functions. Increment attack damage. That's what I did. Increment attack damage. Damage amount. Okay. Let's go ahead and move that over to here as well. I probably actually should put it before the timeline calls. That way I don't accidentally have damage be ignored somehow. So let's go ahead and go up to here. that. Cool, so that should handle incrementing our damage. And that should be all we care about, I think. So let's let that compile. That should give us all of the tools we need for us to actually have damage be dealt. And then we'll be able to see our health be affected. At least I'm hoping that's what will happen. I'm like 95% sure. Always be conservative on those things. So, okay. Let's go ahead and go to phase 2. The final section for the hazard. Crap, this isn't going to do anything yet because I need to actually affect our editor script. Come on, Unity. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead, come up here. Combat system no longer needs to be stored, and in fact it's pointless because it can't be serialized. So we're going to rename this all, and we're going to call this damage amount. Okay. Change that to damage amount. Cool. And then we're just going to do this. Grab you, come up to here. Yep. Cool. Oh, right. Crap. There we go. So now I should be able to edit that value. Yeah, I wish there was more stuff going on right now because I always feel I hate it when I have awkward silences like that on the stream while I just wait for things to compile because it feels like I should be entertaining everyone. Curse my natural showmanship. Okay, so we're gonna increment that by 1 there, and the same thing for our final timeline. We will increment it by 1. Except, right. No, actually that's fine. But we are going to change our logic here because if it's attack type multiple, we don't just want to increment it by increment attack damage. We want to increment it by that times our combo. So I want to say multi-attack combo. Because you would get plus 1 damage for every combo that you completed. So in the default, the troll combat, which is the simplest combat, it's the most simple so that you get a good grasp on how combat works. You'll probably be able to get 2 combos in the base path, plus 1 for crit, plus 1 for perfect. So you shouldn't be able to kill the troll at full health, but you should be able to get it down to 1, unless you learn its secret name, at which point, yes, you could kill it in 1 shot. But all right, let's go ahead and clear that. All right, I think we're good to test this, so let's go ahead and just hit save. It's always good to save before you run a test, and then let's just see how this functions. So we should be able to get all the way to the end of the combat sequence, and it should let us deal 1 damage, and then if I start it again and take the risk, then it should let us do 2 damage. Assuming that I succeed. So let's go ahead and go to battle. Left. This is an attack. Dodge. Yeah, those shifts are not okay. What happened? Why did you break? I got a null reference. Did I mess that up? I might have messed that up. I probably messed that up. Success. Timeline. Damage. Oh, right. Duh. I forgot to assign the actual thing. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit save there and make sure that our failure doesn't have that. Good, good, good. And I think... Oh, wait, no. There was... Right. I need to actually have a reset be called. No, 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 no. It's fine. Let's go to our behavior here. Um, if we deal player damage, go to definition here. When we deal player damage, I still need to reset our stored damage. So after all of this, I need to just say um, stored damage is equal to 0. Because I don't want it. If I didn't reset that, whenever you took damage, it would just keep accumulating until you did massive amounts of damage at the end. And as fun as that could be, that's probably not how I want to have combat work. So I think the next thing we're going to want to do is figure out why our labels aren't cleaning themselves up like they should. I'm half thinking that that's because they are getting recycled. So they're disabled when they should be cleaning themselves up, and then they just don't, which is annoying, but it's conceivable that that's what's happening there. So let's go ahead, click through, do battle, go left. Do something. You're no fun. Why are you no fun? Are you even calling anything? I don't know. Let's, I guess, put in a debug here. Debug.log. Test. Okay. This should, yeah. I mean, this should actually. Oh. Duh. Because I need to do that. Because of course I do. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Because it was trying to basically add health instead of take it away. That's why nothing changed. Because health can only go up to its maximum. It can't go past that. Although it would be hilarious. That would be funny. To have a boss fight that the gimmick is just that they have multiple health bars. So literally once you get through one of their health, one like their entire name, it just resets with a different color and then they go again. That would be funny. I guess actually I could just make that. I could just make the gag instead of having multiple health bars be the same thing. It could just be like a scrolling name. So like they once you get through one row, it just blacks out and then it scrolls one row up, and there's a whole bunch of new characters that you have to get through. That would actually be pretty funny. Okay. So let's go through this again. We'll take the risky route this time. Boom! Alright, so we dealt 2 damage. I got 1 combo, and I got a risky path success. So let's try it now with the safe path. Make sure that works. Are you kidding me? Why? Why'd you break? Okay. Why did you break? It's about right. I got content. I got pete. And because of that, nothing worked. Let's try it again. Could just be a weird thing with timeline being like, nah, I don't feel like working that time. Entirely possible. Especially because we know from just earlier in this stream that I can loop and I can start attacking again. So, not sure what's going on there. Left. This is an attack. Dodge. No. No! No! I failed! What is going on? It should still move, but it's not. Interesting. I should go. I will live to see this. I will see this live tomorrow. Well, I stream on Saturdays. Actually, I do Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so I won't be streaming tomorrow, but I will be on Saturday. So, thanks for stopping by, though. It's always fun having people from like way different time zones. So Saturdays will also be earlier in the day, so it should be a little bit more manageable. It won't be 3 a.m. there, although it might be like 11 or midnight. I actually don't know. I stream at 3 p.m. Eastern time on Saturdays usually, so that's about 4 hours earlier. So it should be about 11 around then, maybe 10. Okay, so I'm going to clear this. I think it's because I forgot to actually assign my fail timeline here. Yeah, they're both successes. So failure there. Oh wait, no, that's even worse. Why did it fail? Okay, so let's go ahead and try playing this again. Timeline. I feel like you're messing up and I don't know why. God, I'm gonna be so happy once I get all the mechanics in so I can redo the UI. Cause I just that UI really needs some work. Let's go to the battle. We're gonna go left. This is. Got the hiccups. Oh my god. Ah, I failed again! Why aren't you working? Interesting. Are none of your references assigned, maybe? Ah, that would be why. Grab this. It's the idle camera. That's correct. Oh, come on. Come on. Stop it. I can't have nice things. Well, great. God, I hate timeline with pure overrides. Okay, there. Now we should be good. Jeez, all the effort in the world. Okay, so all that seems to work. Looks like everything's good there. We will go back to success here. I'm actually going to open up, do the same thing. I'm going to do that. Cool. I decided to stay a little bit more. How much time do you think you'll be streaming from now? I usually stream for about 2 hours. So I start streaming at 7, and I'm usually done between like 9:30. Sometimes I do longer, but usually it's about that long. So I'll probably be done within the next 20 some minutes, if that, maybe 15. Because the only thing I want to do once I get this weird thing fixed, the reason I don't know why it's not working right now. Once I get this fixed, I will probably take a stab at making sure that the labels clean up, and then we'll be done for the night. Damage, that's good, cool. And then we're going to go to attack. If you don't work, it is because I have a theory. I'm going to get to the end, complete an attack, and then I'm not going to start another attack, so I'm going to get my combo and then I'm going to stop without typing anything else. Because I think what's happening is that I'm in the middle of an attack when I get booted out like that, and then that doesn't make sense. That can't be it, but I'm going to test it anyway. It could be that my action select isn't being reset again. Okay. Oh, what's up with that? Okay, not gonna do anything else. Should be good. And now... Okay, so it wasn't that. It's probably most likely because I am not resetting my action the way I should. So let's go back to here, select our combat action clip. Let's go to that. We'll go to the behavior. select action, go to definition. Interesting. Interesting. So it should be setting our current phase to action select, but something's going wrong. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to play, and then once we get to the end and get back to the idle stage, I am going to I'm going to turn off maximize on play. Actually, I'm basically going to keep this no, this one selected, because this timeline is the one that has us do our initial move. If this white line up here moves, it means that it's playing. If it doesn't move, it means that it's stuck, basically, and nothing's happening, which is, for obvious reasons, not great. So I'll probably be here. Your stream is very addicting. Well, thank you. I like to think that I have a Carl Sagan type voice, if he had gargled rocks before he actually started talking. Although, actually, if you've never seen Carl Sagan, he was a very renowned scientist back in, I think, pretty much before the 90s when he died. He did a series called Cosmos. And I can't spell. Oh, no, I'm going to fail. Oh, no, I failed. And then it didn't move, which is interesting, because I don't know why it wouldn't move. Because it didn't even call reset here, which is curious. Interesting. Is it not failing? Is that why? Let's go to our attack section behavior. If is complete. So that's the thing, right? Like if this is true, then we should be playing our success. And if this is, oh, do I not have fail on inaction? That might be why. No, I totally have fail on inaction. Okay, this is great. I'm loving it. Great. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and say debug.log fail again, just to make sure that I am actually getting there. But yeah, if you ever get the chance, or if you ever can't sleep and you just want to go right out like a light, just put on Cosmos, the original series with Carl Sagan narrating, because they're like hour-long. They're not boring. They're actually very fascinating. And the science largely still holds up, even though I think the series was produced in like the late 80s or maybe early 90s. But Carl Sagan just has this amazing voice that puts you right to sleep. I don't know what it is, but it just puts you right out. And it's amazing. It's not like it's boring. It's not like a Bill Stein thing, where he's just talking in monotonous voice. It's very soothing. And the cat wants attention. Yes, I see you, cat. Okay, I'm going to select my initial timeline again. Let's go to our battle. Go left. Oh, wow. Oh my god, what the heck? Stop playing. It's not starting. But it is calling fail. What the heck? Oh, you know what? I bet. Well, no, that doesn't make sense. Let's go to our fail attack, go to definition. Final references. Attack fail, go to definition. Director.time. If behavior.failure timeline does not equal null. Yeah. Okay, so we should totally do that. And then nothing happens. Interesting. I kind of think that on-graph stop here is not getting called the way it should. So let's go ahead and debug this, I guess. So we'll stop playing. Come up here. I'm going to debug debug.log. That plus priority failed. Okay. Make sure that that's getting called, because what's happening there is it's weird. It's like it's clearly the behavior itself is noting that it's failing, but it's not actually getting its timeline played, which is very weird. I don't really know why that's the case. It shouldn't be null. It shouldn't register as null. It just seems to be null. So I guess I should actually probably put that there so that it logs regardless. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much what I would expect. So let's go ahead and let that compile, and then we'll give it a shot again. Yeah, I was worried about these. You can see I have some index out of range exceptions. I think that even if a label is gone, I can still type it, and it will actually start to like select it when an attack is a multiple type attack. Because it seems like if I mistype while an attack was not finished, but it was fading out, and then another attack was fading in with that, it seems to have like selected it automatically. And I'm like, ooh, that's probably not great. But that could just be me. It could be a coincidence. It could just be weird timing. Let's find out. I can probably maximize on play because we're not getting to the repeat stages again. At least not right now. So we'll go left. I do have to say I'm pretty self-conscious about the fact that I can't type well enough to beat my own combat system. Okay. Okay, so that time it worked. So it seems to be handling success just fine, but not failure. Right, yeah, these are all expected. We're going to clear these. I'm going to reselect my initial timeline, and I'm going to turn off maximize on play. Okay, so now when I hit 1, we should see this scrubber up here go through. Are you kidding me? You work now? What the heck? I'm just going to let this go because I want to fail. What the frick? What? 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 You're no fun. Okay, so as soon as I don't understand. I legitimately think that this was actually just timeline being screwy. I think that like all of my code was correct. It's just that timeline was like, I don't really feel like it right now. Oh my god, timeline, why do you suck so hard? Okay. Well, I will go ahead and add another playable track. Damage player. Deal damage clip. Okay. Make that the player. Just drag this in. Everything should be fine. Okay. I legitimately don't understand why it didn't work. It makes me infuriated. Timeline. Why are you so fragile? Well, maybe these are things that are fixed by newer versions. Maybe I should try updating again. It's just that the last time I did that, I had weird label behavior. So let's go ahead and maximize on play. Watch this be something really stupid, like it's only something that happens if you do this in full or maximize on play mode. Okay. Let's go ahead and battle. We'll get to the end and then I'll fail. Yeah! I suck at my own combat system. I made risk mode too hard. It's all placeholder animation anyway right now, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's go to battle again. I will try right one more time. It's very difficult to do this with a cat right in front of the screen. Okay, let those go. Wait, I wanted to fail. Dang it, cat, you distracted me. I zoned out and I was just typing in. Let me try that one more time. Okay, not gonna do anything. Okay, we are gonna fail, and I should take 1 damage. Nice. Okay. So the next thing really that we need to do is figure out why our labels aren't cleaning up properly. So if I go into battle one more time, you'll probably see like both of these things are going to be jumbling. Okay, well that time the right one is actually correct. But you did see that the second time through we were getting a weird thing where the left was shaking and the right was not, which was especially strange. And I'm not entirely sure why that's the case. Actually, that's actually more disturbing than anything else, because it means that not only is the wrong label showing a hazard choice. Wait. Nope. I might have forgotten my own stuff. I might have it actually transitioning stances. Let's go to. Well, there's none of this. Don't need any of you. Behavior, clip, combat system. Here we are. Stance. Is that actually correct? Oh my goodness. Now that I think about it, let's see. Yeah, we're currently not using it, but I totally can now. Ha! Cool. That's nice. Let's go to peak definition. Let's go to ooh, not you. Not you. Hold on. Time out. Peak definition. Peak definition, and then go to definition here. Yes, I want you back. And actually, for hazard choices, I can simply say this. Okay, so I can say combat system. No, stop that. Combat system dot phase followed by combat system dot active stance. Nice. So that actually solves that problem as well. Cool. I like it when I do something and accidentally solve another problem, aside from the one I was trying to fix. And that means that now we will have accurate phases and stance information. But that does actually not really solve our problem of it not cleaning things up properly. Not really sure why. Why it would be different. Well, let's go ahead and clear this, and man. Okay, let's go ahead and hit play here. Maybe maybe my behaviors aren't cleaning themselves up properly? Is that really how it would work? I guess it would make sense, but that'd be weird. It would mean that all of their information is getting stored, and that would explain why things are awkward, but it wouldn't explain why they would choose to do things that way. So you know things are bad when I start mumbling like that, but let's see what happens. So should do 1 damage. Cool. Let's go to battle. Okay. I'm not going to yell, but I really want to. It has to be a timeline thing. It has to straight up just be a timeline thing. I don't understand why it would be this inconsistent otherwise. Okay. So, we're in a weird position where our system that we are actively developing is more reliable than timeline. Because timeline seems to occasionally just be like, I don't feel like calling these things. And that's a huge problem. Ay. Unity, what have you done? What have you done? Okay. So we might call it a night there. I'm gonna try to figure out if other people are having weird inconsistencies like this. It could just be something stupid that I'm doing, maybe. You know, hopefully that's what it is. But I legitimately don't know what it would be. Because my timelines are set up pretty sensibly. I'm not doing anything really crazy with them. I'm not like doing some sort of looping time thing. I mean, they do eventually get restarted, but that's about it. I don't. I'm kind of concerned that maybe it's because occasionally, once they reach the end, they just don't reset back to the beginning. And then when I call play again on them, it just fails. But I don't know why that would be the case. Bleh. Okay. I'm gonna I think we're gonna call it a night. And I'm gonna look this stuff up. I want to know like I said, it's not the first time that Unity has done something weird like this with timeline. It seems that timeline is about 80% of the time reliable, and then the other 20% it's just like, whatever. And that's really problematic. I don't like that happens. And if I could just isolate it, that would be great. But I don't know. So, well, at the very least, we got quite a bit done tonight. We have, let's see, what did we do? We have the combat loop functioning with a giant asterisk there that says that sometimes timeline just doesn't do it for no good reason. And we also have, let's see, we have combat stances and phases being respected, even though we don't really shift that anymore. Well, not anymore, right now. We're still getting that stuff set up. And we also have the player and enemy health updating whenever we want it to. So we made some pretty good progress. Now that the core combat loop is done, we're pretty far into the actual development, and it's all about refinements now. I think it's going to be all about things like putting polish on things, understanding how we want our workflow to go for this, and I think we're in a pretty good place, really. I don't think that setup is really that bad. Granted, I do have tons of timelines that I have to make for this to work, but they're all relatively short. Less than 10 seconds or less than 10 seconds a pop. So I think we're in a pretty good place with the combat system. My goal for this combat system refactor, by the way, I want to have this done and implemented in the game before PopCon. That's my goal. PopCon is June 7th, so I have a little less than 2 weeks at this point. Well, actually, I have exactly 2 weeks at this point. Although I probably need to get it in within the next week, and ideally not the week of. So I'm confident doing that and tearing up our existing systems starting probably next week, just because I have a stable build in the form of the build that I showed at Anime Central. I'm happy with that build. So if I can't get a new build out with a new combat system, I have something to fall back to, and I'm fine with that. So okay, yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. So thank you for stopping by, Shaked. I got it. Always good to have a new username to look at and chat with. Um, and yeah, so as always, I want to thank everyone. Sorry, I got distracted there. As always, I want to thank everyone very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.